You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number 125 of The Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023, and I'm looking outside my window and it's blue skies and bright sun, so hopefully that will keep up for the rest of the day here at the Beaver Lodge. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, he, Mr. Beaver A. And with me, as always, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly, and looking sharp, I must say. Okay, a big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Tuesday morning nibble for you kids, but first, let's say hello to Mr. Grizzly, who's taking a sip of coffee from his SNC cup, and ask him how his mental health is doing today.
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. Mental health-wise, jury's out on that one. Running on 4 hours sleep, so I'm very groggy at the moment. It's my second cup of coffee, and I'm not awake yet. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. And last night, I don't know if anybody tuned into the ASMR show, but I was just before I sat down to do it, about 15 minutes before I sat down to do it, I had a full-blown anxiety attack. And was like, I can't do this. I got to back out. And I'll just not do it. And then I decided that wouldn't be helpful to myself or anybody. So I managed to make it through, but I was much better by the end of it. But yeah, it was just, I don't know where it came from, right out of nowhere.
Wow.
Just, I guess a feeling of being overwhelmed. There's a lot going on. That I'm not going to necessarily get into. Like there's things going on in my world that aren't how do I say it? Aren't directly involve me, but I'm not directly involved. So it's not me personally that's being physically affected by what's taking place, but I am being affected by it emotionally because it's someone who's very, very close to me. So
Yes.
If that makes sense, I don't want to. Everybody has their right to privacy, right? So
yeah, makes sense. But that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's adding to my my lack of sleep and anxiety, and I have a lot of good going on right now. So just it's.
But I know that feeling when things are going well for you, but maybe not for someone you care about, and
Yeah,
you're preoccupied by that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I can't focus as much as I should on the good that's happening in my life because when things are good, you should, focus on that and be grateful
Hmm.
for it. But at the same token, I'm just sort of my mind is elsewhere with someone else right now, and there's nothing I can do um, to remedy the situation.
Yeah,
That's just how it is.
yeah, I know. It, it's tangentially related, but yesterday when you said focus on the good, um, I, as everybody knows, I'm specifically trying to lose weight because at Valentine's Day I'd weighed the most I'd ever in my life, and
Mm.
as of this morning, officially 20 pounds lost since Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
Yes, yesterday I broke the 75 kilogram barrier, so I took a picture of the scale and then I posted
Mm.
it. Now somebody took the time to congratulate me, would make a 2 point. One, congratulate me, and two, say that the scale was gross because there was a little crud around the ledge. Never occurred
Not
to me to
gross like in
actually
weight.
clean the scale,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it's not like I eat off it. I stand on it, I look down, I get off, right? So,
Yeah.
but I took a picture of it, and yes, around the thing, there's some dirt, and it's like, thank you for the congratulations. This is an achievement. I'm going to focus on point one,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, because I mean, just like I, okay, yes, okay. Now that I see the picture that you pointed it out, yes, I see that like around
Hmm.
the window
Hmm.
that says like this. It is dirty, but thanks. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
but you know that thing, right, where you can sit there and you can look at that and you're going, oh darn, gee, I can't believe I posted that. I'm gonna like take that picture off and go take another one and like put a clean one on because
Hmm.
I don't want.
Hmm.
It's like,
Too
why?
late. The cow's already out the barn door. Closing the barn is not going to make a difference now. Just leave it be.
Cyborg, I looked at it and go, oh, I guess it is dirty. Okay, well, you know what? Too bad. That's okay because it may be dirty, but yeah, yesterday it was 18 pounds. So I was like,
Mm.
you know what? Good. Fine. I'm going to focus on the 18 pounds. You focus on the dirty.
Life is dirty. Life is messy.
Right.
That's just how it is.
So,
And something as trivial like my apartment right now is a pigsty. And me, I have OCD.
you can eat
Everything's
off the floor at your place.
yeah. Well, I've been so like the whole weekend. I had all these things I had planned to get done, and I had no energy. It was like I'd get up, I'd make something to eat. I'm like, I'll get to the dishes later. And then it was like, I need to take a nap. I was just zapped for energy this weekend. I think it's just a lot of emotions catching up with me. You know, the duopoly, would that be the dual? There's the goodness happening, and there's
Duality.
the duality. Thank you. You know, I'm supposed to be celebrating and grateful for all this goodness in my life, yet I've got this. Over here, I'm worried about somebody, and it's like, ugh.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know
so
the
I think
feeling.
that's exhausting me. At one point in time, that would have put me into serious depression, but with medication therapy and different attitude, I can work through it much better. But the anxiety still takes control when it wants to take control, and that can be no fun whatsoever. But hey, it is what it is. I'll soldier on through as I always do because that's what you have to do. Tomorrow's another day. Today's a beautiful sunny day. It's going up
Mhm.
to 24, so I'm going to enjoy every little bit of that, right?
Right.
So find gratitude where you can find gratitude. I guess I'm getting philosophical and kind of into ASMR mental health chat territory, but that's just where my brain is this morning. So,
Yep. Yep. I hear you. I hear you. I have days like that. Yeah, I hear you. Well, hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun this morning and give you a little energy, my friend.
let's hope so. Yeah.
Headlines. Lots of stuff going on. Today, the big thing that will be happening today, of course, it's May 23rd. So, former Governor General David Johnson will be releasing his report, special rapporteur, into
Oh, okay.
what he has found out has gone on in with regard to election interference. I don't know. We don't know if he's looking specifically just at those last two elections in China, or if he's looking broader, because as I keep on referring to Michelle Junot Katsuya, who is a former senior CSIS officer who keeps on testifying and saying on TV to whomever will listen that they've been warning prime ministers and cabinets for decades, like 30 years about this, and nobody's done anything serious in his opinion yet. So this will come out. We have people like Artur Wilczynski, who is, well known in those circles, but appears to be much more conservative leaning from the commentary I've been seeing on Twitter, saying like nothing less than a full public inquiry will do, or else, lest the confidence of Canadians in their elections erode further. But the confidence in our elections have not eroded. All the polling shows that like over 70% of Canadians think that our elections are quite fine. Thank you. So it's the people who are spinning that our elections are somehow fraudulent. I mean, you've got some people from the UCP and conservatives talking about tabulation stuff, saying like trying to do that Dominion thing, right? It's like, oh, these vote counts, it's like all they do is tabulate. You're not even voting with these machines. So I don't know where they think they're going to go with that. Now you have people like Andrew Coyne, again, who is still not openly declaring his conflicts of interest, and who the Globe and Mail keeps on publishing on this subject, even though they are very painfully aware of his conflicts of interest on this subject. But he's basically, it's just, Linda is saying that Andrew Coyne's already casting aspersions on the report, saying that Johnson just ticked boxes and didn't talk to conservatives. He should have, like he knows this. And Andrew Coyne, for some reason, for a journalist, is astoundingly uncurious.
Yeah.
He wants it to be only about the last two elections and only about China, or else Johnson has lost the plot. If he makes it about more, it's like, excuse me, but again, the senior CSIS people have been saying that this is going on for 30 years. So if the subject is allegedly foreign influence in our political system, shouldn't we attack the foreign influence in our political system wherever it comes from? Or are we making this now just a Trudeau and a China thing? So we'll deal with foreign election interference from China, but from Iran and Russia and North Korea and everywhere else, well, it's fine. We don't need to do anything about those, according to Mr. Coyne. I don't know what it is. Like 2 days ago, again, he said something where he was like totally bang on. He's got this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing where he's like completely bang on. But as soon as it involves anything having to do Trudeau, he loses his mind.
Is it TDS that he's suffering from, Trudeau derangement syndrome, or just like what's
or
going
he
on?
Really wanted Pierre to be his daddy and it's not, or he's tangentially related. He's mad that it. Anyway, I'm trying not to bring Sarah Queen into it because she has done nothing wrong.
It doesn't involve her. So.
But I mean, it's like, is he mad that Sarah was Trudeau's daughter and not him, his son, instead? I just don't know what it is.
There's something there.
But as soon as he sees the word Trudeau, he just loses all reason and mastery of himself in public and puts his face and name to it. And he's proud of it. I don't get it. I just don't get how somebody who can be so right about so many things so many times is so off on this one. Just has a total blind spot. These articles are motivated by something else, and I don't know what it is with Andrew Coyne because he's just completely inconsistent. But in the name of national security, this guy who's supposed to be very serious and comes across as ridiculously dour really just wants to... It's almost like the COVID thing, right? It's like, let's keep China quarantined so that China doesn't spread it, but let's let everybody else just show up to every public event with no masks and no vaccinations and let them cough and sneeze right on you. This is basically what he's advising if this was a public health thing.
Mhm.
So we only need to look at it from one country. The rest of the world is fine.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on there.
And so, and again, right, we're dealing in a context. Yes, we're the communist government of the People's Republic of China is super shady and corrupt and horrible, and they torture and commit genocide, and and they're expansionists and all that kind of stuff. We get that, right?
Mm.
But there are over 1 billion people in China. Not every single person is corrupt, and there was a historical element with Pierre Trudeau, father, particularly in relationship with China when it came to opening up China to the world. So, right? And again, these donations were made at 2016, when in 2012, we signed a 31-year agreement that came into force in 2014. So
Yeah.
in 2014, we were okay with 31 years tying ourselves to China.
Yeah. Well,
And
'cause
slivering off a part of our sovereignty to do it. And 2 years later, looking back with 2023 eyes.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, it's
Now
because the
we're
conservatives did it, so it's fine. When we do it, it's okay. When you do it, it's bad. That's
but
their
for their
mentality.
but for their story to be true, right, is that every single person living in China, every
Yeah.
single one, is completely corrupted.
Yeah. 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 All 1.4
Like this,
billion.
yeah, all 1.4 billion, and it is completely impossible that there would be two people in all of China who are businessmen, because thought it was a good idea to recognize the man that opened the door.
Yeah.
With a scholarship, of all
Mm.
things. I don't know. And yes, maybe they thought it was an attempt from them to influence. But on the other hand, the people from the Trudeau Foundation, like, what have we been doing? What has been our policy all that time? Oh, well, if we just continue doing trade with China and liberalizing trade, then China will, participate in the global world and start adopting global world values. Right? We were doing all of this thinking that we could politically influence China.
I guess.
So when we're like sending our former Supreme Court judges over to China to help them develop rule of law policy,
Mm.
when we're sending foreign aid to China, all of that wasn't us trying to influence their political system. But
Yeah, but we're okay because we're the good guys.
$140,000 donation to a scholarship charity is completely upended our democracy.
Hmm.
But every Team Canada mission we sent down there didn't. We're all trying to influence each other.
Of course.
Now, I understand China takes it to another level with its police stations and all that kind of stuff. And, but I mean, the specific thing that everybody's they're losing their minds more about $140,000 donation for a scholarship fund than the actual police stations.
Yeah. Well, you got to have the outrage machine going 24/7. So the rage farming. Okay, I'm gonna be polite. I'm gonna censor myself. I was gonna go on a rampage there, but I decided not to. I'm not gonna go on a rampage. I'll be polite this morning, even though I am angry and fired up about it, because it's like it just never goddamn well ends with these fucking people. It never ends. And they
Flood the
just keep
zone.
picking at the same scab constantly.
Flood the zone. Flood the zone. Flood the public square with so much BS liquid BS that you're going to need hip waders.
Yeah.
That go up to under your armpits.
Yeah, it's exactly what it
to
is.
muddle through it. And once you get tired of the smell, you decide, oh, well, I'm going to leave the public square. And now, well, all the cat's away, so the mice are playing. That's the goal. It's to exhaust us so that we leave, that we check out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, conservatives only win if it's a battle of the bases.
Yeah.
They have the bigger base that will show up every time. We have the greater numbers, but most of us are somewhat apathetic.
That's the problem.
Or believe that, or some of us are still sleepwalking through life, believing that, well, whether the conservatives or the liberals win, we'll be all right ultimately. It's like, no. These are not the same conservatives.
These are not Joe Clark's conservatives. These are not Brian Mulrooney's conservatives. These are conservatives in name only. They are reformers, and they are ruled by Christo-fascist religious right, and they will strip you of your rights. They will do it. If you give them the opportunity, they will turn back the clock to 1935.
Yeah, progressive conservatives are pretty much no more as a political entity in Canada. There's been a hostile corporate takeover that's been taking place for like since 1995-ish, 1993-ish, going on. It's like it's been a 20-year slow, incremental, hostile takeover, and that's it. Exactly. They are Republican conservatives or, regressive conservatives, or you name them what they want. But they are not the ones that you can leave unsupervised with a pack of matches and sleep soundly at night. Just
No,
they're not. So this report's going to come out. Everybody's going to lose their minds no matter what he says.
No, exactly. It doesn't matter a whit what he says. The conservatives have already made up their mind. They've already decided about this. And
even if he recommends a full public inquiry, they're still going to do it. Oh, thanks for the public inquiry, but you were still compromised, and we're still going to poop on you.
It doesn't matter what he says.
Right?
It doesn't matter.
And if he doesn't recommend it, then oh boy, watch out, because it is going to be like DEFCON 2, maybe 1. It's going like Vesuvius is just going to go.
Yeah.
Right. I'm guessing that this is predicted or scheduled to be released somewhere around noon today. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because there's going to be drama, darlings, drama. All right. Wildfire update. Rain started to fall in Alberta last night. It fell in pretty much every region of the province except the far north. Not enough, but much more is forecast for today. We are now down to 71 burning wildfires. I think yesterday we were about 90, with 20 of them out of control. Yesterday, I think, was about 24, 23. So, I mean, still bad, but better. Because, I mean, if you're fighting 71 fires rather than 90, maybe you have more people to put on the other ones to help with that. But still about 10,000 evacuees. And there's still a high risk of more fires, particularly in the northern region of Alberta and the eastern slopes of the Rockies. So if you're living in that area, or if you have people that you care about that live in that area, please tell them to pay close attention. And please remember, if anything is going out there where there's some power outages or things like that, and people still have some cell power, remember, if they want to keep up to date, there is a website that's CBC/Lite, LITE, I believe it is, and that doesn't have images, whatnot, so it's very less demanding on bandwidth, and you can keep getting information on if you don't have a lot of battery power coming in. So remaining on your cell phone or on your devices. So if you have people living in the area and they happen to be out of power, let them know that exists, so that they have a way to keep up to date with what's going on. Because when the evacuation orders or alerts are put out, it's time to actually follow them. Don't ignore them. Don't disregard them, because again, this is so big and people are being dispatched here, there, and everywhere, and there's lots of different fronts on which to fight. That if the evacuation team comes around the first time, they might not have time to come around a second time to help you if you stay. So please take the warnings and the alerts very, very seriously. All you need is a sudden change of wind, and then fire behavior just changes drastically all of a sudden in like in a matter of minutes.
And you're done. Yeah.
And you're done. So please.
Did you happen to catch Arthur Pawlowski, or how do we pronounce his name again? Raging on about he wanted to say he thanked the Lord for the wonderful Florida-like weather they were having in Alberta, and they wanted to try and emulate Florida's politics. He wanted to bring that into Alberta. I mean, they're saying it out loud now, which leads me to this video clip that I have from this is Frank Zappa on the Charlie Rose Show from 1988. And
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this.
I probably have, because I used to watch Charlie Rose pretty religiously before the Me Too stuff, and he went down on that.
Yeah. Well,
He was
I'll
a
show
great
a couple.
interviewer. But
Oh yeah. A couple minutes of this clip. This is Frank Zappa talking about the religious right wing in the United States of America and evangelicalism.
This country's turning.
Media is turning right, and I think that many of them who get into office have gotten in there by wearing a pseudo middle of the road kind of a costume, and then lean toward the right when they find out the right is paying the freight once they get into office. Let our minds drift back to the early days right before Reagan made his big run. There was a deal made between the fundamentalist right and the Republican Party, literally purchasing the platform. If you stick the prayer in school on, money, the land of milk and honey will flow in your direction.
Is that any different than politics of the Democratic Party, in which, all kinds of different interest groups had certain things they wanted in the platform?
It is very different. It is very different because it is so focused, and it is so wealthy, and it is so protected. So much. I think that it has been the ruination of the GOP. GOP now has, as they say,
The grand old party?
that's right, enterprisers on one side and moralizers on the other. I'm with the enterprisers. Let's get, let's get.
When he talks about...
So that was just a couple of minutes, a minute and 17 seconds of a 4-minute clip from the Charlie Rose Show from 1988, where Frank Zappa was telling us exactly what was going on then.
he's referring
exactly
Shank.
what is.
Robert Shank,
Exactly.
that clip you showed a few weeks ago, he's referring that deal specifically.
This has all been going on for years. In 1985, he said something very similar 3 years prior to that interview. And that's a 15-minute clip. I'd have to dig around to get the exact one. But I mean, he tried to warn us. And it wasn't just Frank Zappa. It was a lot of other artists. Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson, when they did The Highwaymen, they were being interviewed, and they said basically the exact same thing.
They've been hiding it in plain sight.
Yes. The religious right are trying to take over. If you think Gilead is a work of fiction, well, Gilead in the book, The Handmaid's Tale, is meant to be a work of fiction based on true actual events happening around the world when Margaret Atwood wrote it.
She said that herself. She said everything in that book, the reason why it's so scary, are things that have happened before at some point.
That's right. So it was all based on a certain amount of reality. Then she put it together in her own story. But the problem is these evangelical, extreme right-wing, what do they call themselves? Social conservatives? Whatever. They want to use The Handmaid's Tale as a manual.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing it right in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you sit back and think everything's going to be okay, don't worry about a thing, everything's going to be all right, this is the one time I'm going to tell you that Bob Marley was incorrect. You need to get up off your duff, get to the polls and vote, and let people know this will happen if you sit back and let it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm directing this specifically at Alberta because Pawlowski, who has the premier in his back pocket, clearly, because she has a thing for pastors. And I'm not railing on religion. I'm railing on bad people using the disguise, the veil of religion to force you to do what they want you to do.
She's, excuse the expression, but she's got a white on for pastors.
Yeah.
A big political white on for them. And when I say they're hiding it in plain sight, like I'm going to use an example, like where it leads down to, but I don't want to talk about this guy more than this example because I want to focus on Pawlowski.
Mm-hmm.
But remember Andrew Tate,
Mm-hmm.
right? He posted this thing yesterday. And when I'm saying they're hiding it in plain sight, they're hiding it in plain sight, right? I mean, he's out there and he's going, he starts a poll. When she loves you, she will ask your permission for basically anything. Quote, hey, baby, can I go to the store? Hey, baby, can I watch a movie? Hey, baby, can I play music? Okay, this guy wants a pet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a person, but they're hiding it. Like he's put like this is virtuous. This is like treating women like this is virtuous. It's the way it should be. It's being a man. It's like I'm saying, like, hey baby, can I reenact that Farrah Fawcett scene in the burning bed? No.
Yeah.
Hey baby, isn't it your bedtime? Why don't you just go to sleep?
Yeah,
How about we ask you permission for those types of things, right? So you got this Pawlowski guy that he's on the war path.
Oh yeah.
He is on the war path. So this is the thing I saw when you mentioned it. He is going to have a press conference in Edmonton at noon tomorrow. Tip: I will be revealing the whole story of my interactions, including my phone call with the Premier, Danielle Smith. I will be having the press conference on the steps of the legislature in Edmonton, because they won't let you in, at noon, Wednesday, the 24th of May. I believe it's important for Albertans to learn the whole truth about what took place. Okay, number one, I mean, Pawlowski is not where we're going to turn to for truth. However, this is a Donald Trump, Michael Cohen situation. Both of them have reputations as liars, but one of them has receipts. Absolutely everything Michael Cohen said has receipts. Pawlowski, he's a turd. He's a piece of shit. Super polished piece of shit. But he's got receipts. He's got receipts. She made a promise. She promised him that nothing bad would happen to him. And then she found out that she can't do anything about it. And given that he's facing potentially life in prison, which he thought he was going to get out scot-free, well, all of a sudden shit got a little real, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Like, a little fast. Because all of a sudden he realized that dear Danny, who has a white on for pastors, allegedly. Second, it gets a little sticky for her. Well, oh my God, well, the pastor, she leaves him twist in the wind while facing life. I wouldn't understand why Arthur wouldn't be too happy about that. I mean, and he did mention in that call that, she wasn't keeping her promises, so he felt he needed to swing. And he's the one that felt at that time that he needed to record that phone call. Again, people following the Putin compromat playbook.
Oh.
This is going to be, again, I'm saying this is going to be fun. This is going to be a disaster. But they're taking each other out, so this is going to be fun.
Yes, it's the train wreck we all want to watch when we know we shouldn't.
Hands over the
Pretty
eyes,
much, yeah.
and then open up the fingers and go, yee. That's what's going on.
I don't want to look. I cannot look away.
I cannot look away. And speaking of this, it seems that Pawlowski is not the only one throwing people under the bus, because on May 18th, the day before my birthday, in CBC, Alberta Premier Smith breached Conflict of Interest Act, says Ethics Commissioner. Now, the UCP, the Ethics Commissioner said that, well, there is no trace of any email from her or her office to actual prosecutors. So the UCP took that one, and Kean took that one and put all these press releases out. See, I've been cleared, and CBC lied, and CBC owes us an apology. And it was like,
no.
The ethics commissioner said, okay, maybe she wouldn't be able to find that email, but you did also, I believe, restrict that search that you put out for the emails up until December 31st of last year, and only on government email. So nothing on WhatsApp or all those little encrypted things that you used to send messages to each other, when you don't want us to know, right? All those little things, those didn't get searched. So I'm sure there must be some emails, but, well, the search was only put so very, very narrow so that when the search came up with nothing like you knew it would, then you could claim victory. And you thought we did see it happen. Anyway, so it seems that the ethics commissioner, Margaret Trussler's probe began on March 31st after a member of the public asked if there were ongoing investigations into whether Smith pressured cabinet members or employees of the government in relations to the Coutts border blockade. In her report, Trussler said 3 questions arose. 1. Did someone from the Premier's office send an email about the COVID-related prosecutions to a Crown prosecutor? Again, only looking for emails. The ethics commissioner was, and nothing else.
Very, very narrow.
Very, very uncurious. Was it improper for the Premier to discuss Street Pastor Pawlowski's criminal case with him? I think we know the answer to that one. Did the Premier interfere with the administration of justice in her interactions with the Minister of Justice and Attorney General in his role as Attorney General or anyone in his ministry in relation to the COVID-related prosecutions? And that's really the question that matters in this one, because that's really the only thing that could damn her somewhat if she did something wrong, that the ethics commissioner is going to decide to look at. Just that tiny, tiny little sliver. Well, quote, in my opinion, Premier Smith contravened Section 3 of the Conflict of Interest Act in her interaction with the Minister of Justice and Attorney General in relation to the criminal charges Mr. Pawlowski was facing. In January, CBC News reported that a staffer in Smith's office had sent a series of emails to the Alberta Crown Prosecution Service. Trussler wrote that she had found no evidence of emails and could only come to the conclusion, based on the evidence that I have, that no Crown prosecutor was emailed directly about any of the cases. Let's fix that for you. I could only come to the conclusion based on the evidence that I sought.
Yes.
That no Crown, not the evidence that you have, because you didn't actually seek out.
It's the appearance of an investigation when they really didn't do anything. But
still, the appearance of the investigation still rude that she broke the law.
Yeah. And they went out of their way to find it like she didn't, and it's like, she still did it.
When it came to discussing Pawlowski's case, she wrote that while Smith's telephone call with him was not a matter covered by the Conflicts of Interest Act, how convenient, it was a breach of principle that members of the Legislative Assembly should not speak with any accused person about any ongoing criminal matter before the courts. So, it wasn't part of her scope, but she still felt the need to answer that. And again, let me read that, because people go, well, what's the difference between Trudeau and SNC? SNC and Danielle Smith. Again, right? When it came to discussing his case, it was a breach of a principle that members of the Legislative Assembly should not speak with any accused person. The Prime Minister spoke to the Attorney General or Minister of Justice, same person wearing the same hat, within the context of a deferred prosecution agreement law that existed on the books.
Written by, who wrote that law again? Stephen Harper's Conservatives.
Yes, the initial version, but that's not the version that passed.
No.
It didn't pass. No, they didn't get to pass it to Parliament. So it came into the first Liberal budget while Jody Wilson-Raybould was the Justice Minister.
Yeah, right.
Now, I'm not sure if she wrote the law or somebody else wrote it and then got put in or whatever like this, but I'm guessing it should be her that wrote the law, because deferred prosecution specifically is a justice thing. So, So, but it was included and it passed and it was a law. There is no deferred prosecution agreement law in Alberta, number one, and there is no deferred prosecution agreements for wanting to incite people to have another Alamo. Deferred prosecution agreements. This company did some very, very bad things, and we could sanction the company, which would force the company to go bankrupt or move, and we'd lose all these jobs and people's pension retirement. So we're going to do something else instead. This guy says this was an Onward Christian Soldiers guy. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. Right? Then Smith responded that she always wrote that she had always sought amnesty for those charged with non-violent COVID-related offenses and violations during the pandemic. Well, that was not the case for Pawlowski, because it's mischief, and not mischief for property, but mischief potentially causing loss or hurt, damage to life. Well, because property, it's maximum 10 years for 5,000 and over, maximum 2 years for 5,000 and under. But if it's to life or someone's person, it's maximum life.
Just 20 years.
This is not the COVID sneezing stuff. His things on those ones were already pardoned. This is the big stuff. So this is not about when she says, I've always sought amnesty for those charged with non-violent color. This is not that when it comes to Pawlowski. And then as for her call to Justice Minister Tyler Sandro, she said she was seeking advice. Quote, as I have explained before, differently than I'm explaining now, I'm sure. But as I've explained before, I spoke with Minister Sandro, who's an experienced lawyer, and I was very interested in his advice on what could legally be done about this, she wrote. But she said, Sandro, she says, Trusser wrote that Smith called Sandro on January 6th in the evening. During the call, the premier didn't advise Sandro that she had a personal telephone call with Pawlowski before calling Sandro. Trusser writes, and started the conversation by stating she did not know if this was appropriate to call him. I don't know if I should be doing this. This is what Danielle says. She advised that he indicated that she could continue as the deputy minister shielded him from the COVID-related cases. While she says that she started to talk about the cases generally at some point, she turned to Mr. Pawlowski's quote. So I was talking about the cases generally, and then at some point the conversation turned to Pawlowski. It's important to note that this call was only a few hours after the Pawlowski call. So basically, she had the Pawlowski call, and she just got right on the phone to Sandro.
Immediately, yeah.
Okay. And this is her version. I'm just talking about COVID-related stuff. He advised me that he never felt any such conversation would be appropriate.
What if?
And that he almost certainly would have not indicated that it was okay to proceed. He remembered that there was a brief conversation generally about COVID-related prosecutions, but Premier Smith turned very quickly to Pawlowski's case, which Minister Sandro understood was the reason for the call. So he has a different recollection.
Interesting, huh?
And
he's not exactly a stand-up guy either.
No, but he's like said, no, she called me and she pretty much went into it right away. And it was very clear that that's why she was calling me.
Yeah.
So she's trying to make it seem, oh, yeah, it's just something that kind of sort of came up in this large sort of general conversation.
No, that was not the case at all.
Yeah. Sandro also recalled that during the call, but not at the beginning of the call, Smith asked him about the extent to which he could get involved in a prosecution. Smith pointed out he was the Attorney General and seemed to suggest something that was influenced by a letter sent by Ezra Levant, who runs the right-wing company Rebel. In response, Sandro recalled that he tried to explain the role of the Attorney General and said while the Crown Prosecution Service is under his authority, he could not personally get involved in files or speak to prosecutors. He made the point that there's a separation between his office and the prosecutors. Mr. Sandro stated that Premier Smith was passive-aggressive. Oh, really? Throughout the call, she asked him specifically if there was anything he could do about Mr. Pawlowski's case. She wanted him to make it go away, although she did not direct him to do so. She was concerned about a press conference that Mr. Pawlowski said he was going to have and how bad the optics would be for the party, which is the press conference he's going to have tomorrow.
That should be interesting.
Isn't it amazing how it all just cycles back? Mr. Sandro told her there was nothing he could do, and she accepted his advice. There were no further conversations between Sandro and the premier on this subject. So I'm guessing he said, listen here, woman. You need to stop. So this is a mess. This is a mess. And the report's conclusion, she recommended that all new members of the Legislative Assembly attend mandatory training upon election about the structure of Canadian government and the roles of the three branches.
So civics. Take a civics course.
Ouch.
Take a basic civics course.
Ouch.
That's really troublesome.
And when people were worried about this ethics commissioner, of the 85 requests for investigation sent to Trussler in 2021-2022, she conducted only one probe, according to the commissioner's last annual report. Yes. That investigation focused on education ministers Adrienne Lagrange and cleared her of inappropriate conduct tied to a $150,000 contract for students' reusable masks granted by her ministry to a company in her Red Deer riding. Wow.
Yeah. I've got to...
One all last year out of 85.
That's pretty bad.
Investigate.
I've got a quote here from Frank Zappa that I'm going to change a few words in it.
Okie dokie.
To apply it to today's time frame and what's going on in the country. He said this in 1985 on CNN's Crossfire, and I'm changing words so that it will translate for 2023 because the words I change just apply to Canada. The biggest threat to Canada today is not China. It's moving Canada towards a fascist theocracy, and everything that's happened during the Harper years is staring us right down that pipe. When you have a government that prefers a certain moral code derived from a certain religion, and that moral code turns into legislation to suit one certain religious point of view, and if that code happens to be very, very right-wing, well, I changed a few words there to suit modern times, but guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, those words, you can plug and unplug, and it's the same damn thing. He was talking about Reagan and what was going on in the 80s because he said that in 1985, but you can translate it to 2023 by changing a few words around like I just did. And it's no damn different.
Mm-hmm. Tiny piece of good news before we go out, Mr. Grizzly.
Sure.
Because I love good news. We wondered if it would happen.
And it
is. She's going for it again.
Good for her.
Jean Carroll decided that she's going to sue Trump again. One day after he was found guilty, he went to that CNN town hall and defamed her again. She slapped him with another lawsuit. Now, in the first lawsuit, she demanded no money whatsoever, and the jury found that she should get $5 million. This time, she's asking for 10.
Good. I hope she gets 20.
Good. Go, girl, go.
Sue him into oblivion. The guy's an idiot, and he can't keep his mouth shut.
And this should be standard operating procedure. GOP conservatives, Pierre, sue him every single freaking time. Yep. Every lie, every misstatement, sue him for defamation, make it cost, make it expensive, make it hurt. It's that old abuser talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing she understands.
Mm-hmm.
Sue them into oblivion. It's the only thing they understand.
That's right. It's the only thing. It is. It's true. I mean, if you go after him for, well, I mean, I know because of parliamentary privilege, you can't pursue him for saying the Liberals started the wildfires in Alberta. But couldn't a citizen go after him for that? Because that is defamatory language.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stochastic terrorism, period.
Mm-hmm.
It's the very definition of stochastic terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
Because since that saying, people had been literally across the province of Alberta accusing the NDP of doing it, but he came right out and said the Liberal government did it in the House of Commons.
Yeah.
We heard him say it.
Yeah.
People have gone on the bandwidth saying the Liberals started the fires to help the NDP.
Yeah, and now they're saying, well, what he meant is because they were controlled burns by Park Canada, so that's what you're saying started by the government. No, that's not what started by your government means.
No, because he responded
you're sitting at home
to what
and you're
the minister
sitting at
was
home
saying.
Starting by your government does not mean, oh, it was a Parks Canada control program.
He would have said that.
Yeah.
No. That's stochastic terrorism. Yep. And seriously, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Was something rough and sandpapery. Right? Yeah. Well, kids, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver podcast. We hope you love listening to us because we loved making this for you. Yes, we do. Trust me, I get up early enough. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. Let your peeps know about us because democracy is something that you do. Please, again, our challenge, write a letter to your MP saying that you want our foreign ownership of media laws returned back to not allow majority ownership by a foreign nation.
Yeah.
And when you do, send us a little message at our email, truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com to let us know that you have. And let's see if we can do something because, as Mr. Grizzly said, if 3 emails in New Brunswick was enough to get the government to do a policy review that could actually make the lives of rainbow children much worse, certainly 100 from Kits or 1,000 from Kits would certainly put that on the agenda, I would assume.
Oh, yes.
So let's try it. Let's see if it works. And let us know if you have, like I said, because we love to hear from you. So please reach us on our Facebook, True North Eager Beaver, Twitter @TrueEager, or by email, truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. You can subscribe to us via our pod page, podpage.com/the-True-North-Eager-Beaver, all in lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. And that means we will come to you as soon as we have something straight off the bandwidth. All right? Well, not really straight off the bandwidth, fresh off the bandwidth. Well, maybe semi-straight off the bandwidth. I mean, we do have our token heterosexual here.
Christ.
why not also subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel? That helps us out big time. When we get to 1,000, we're able to monetize this, and everything we make goes back into the show, so we can make a better product for you. So if you're there, please subscribe. If you're there, please make like Kit Elaine and smash that button. And if you happen to be listening on another platform, if you could take the time to stroll to our YouTube page and subscribe, that would help us all very much.
That would be great.
Thank you. We can't do this without your kind and generous support. So if you feel that we've done a particularly good show for you today, well, if you're watching, you can scan that QR code by Mr. Grizzly's head, and that will take you to our emergency hot chocolate, Guinness, coffee, and Caesar fund, which keeps us hydrated and keeps us motivated to do more work. And if you're listening, well, if you let your digits go to ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, one word, lowercase letters, that's where you will find the place where you can contribute to our fund. And we appreciate every nickel. Thank you very much. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom for us before we go?
I don't know if this is as much words of wisdom as it is an observation, but I had somebody recently respond to a message on Twitter and DM'd me saying, like, so if your life is so great, why are you asking for money? I'm like, what? He goes, well, you got a coffee page for donations and this. And I go, yeah, we do this. We create content. We would like to get paid for the content we create. Please tell me what is wrong with that. I need money. Don't you need money? It costs money to create. We just want to cover our costs. And that was the end of the conversation.
Yep.
They were trying to make fun of me because of the coffee page and the fact that we ask for donations. I'm like, it takes time and money to put this together.
Yep. I have the same thing on my personal feed. I have like kindness is power.
Yeah.
Whenever I stand up for something, I say like, this is bullshit. Like this is, oh, how are you supposed to, I thought you're supposed to be kind. Oh yes, I forgot. I'm sorry. It's unkind for me to point out that you're being a prick.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Some days you just can't put up with that sort of behavior, and you gotta put them in their place.
Yeah, really. It's like, oh, really? You're having a problem with my lack of kindness, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, because from where I'm looking, I'm seeing a whole other set of problems.
Well, it's chaos. Be kind, except for Nazis. Punch them.
And for people who are not kind.
Yeah.
If people are not being kind, it's for me to point out, so you know what, you're being a little bit of a dick. Well, that's not very kind. It's a declarative statement of fact. You're being a dick. Kindness has nothing to do with it. It's true. It's not mean if it's true.
It's just a statement of fact. Yeah.
It's just a statement of fact. I'm sorry if that bothers you. All right, kids. Mr. Grizzly, please roll the credits, sir.
Just before I do that, I want to post this.
Yes,
little
please.
Thing here. Premier Danielle Smith blasts media for old comments she made 30 minutes ago. That's from October of 2022.
You took them out of context and you misinterpreted me. I never said that. Why are you showing me the words I said?
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
Let's get out of here.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
And Mr. Grizzly, before we go, your eager beaver has an obsession at the moment. As you know, I'm Rainbow, and Rainbow people really love Kylie Minogue.
Oh, is it Kylie? Wow, I didn't even recognize her.
She's got a new song out called Padam Padam. I highly recommend it. It's a banger.
Is it
I'm
Bollywood-like?
No, it's not. Padam Padam is a lot of people. It's actually Bosnian people thought it was she was singing in her language in their language because it's actually Bosnian word. But no, Padam Padam for this is the sound of your heartbeat. Padam Padam.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So great video, really great song. Highly recommended. Treat yourself to something fun. All right, kids.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.